Thank you, Adrian. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we kick off our ERP VAR webinar series with a look at what took place at our recent summit. Every year, we have a partner summit. This year, we were in the great city of Houston, Texas, and we had a record-breaking attendance of over 1,500 people that showed. And that include the employees of Acumatica, our partners, our customers, prospects, analysts, all convening in Houston to hear keynote presentations, see incredible demos. I'm not trying to take too much away from Jeff's presentation, but it was a great way to network and learn about what's new and exciting and going on with Acumatica. And as I mentioned, we had over 1,500 people in attendance, which was up by over, I think, 200 that we had last year. So we're looking forward to growing that number for next year as we head to Las Vegas, and hopefully some of you on the call today will be joining us. Our presenter today is Jeff Ashley. He's the VP of Partner Strategy and Programs. Jeff has a wealth of knowledge in the industry, especially within the channel, and he is responsible for with the recruiting efforts, the enablement efforts of our program, and he'll go into that slightly. Today's topic is 5 key takeaways from Summit 2019. So you're going to, even though there were many takeaways, we are highlighting the top 5 that we feel that we want to introduce to you. And just as a shameless plug, just recently, we want to say congratulations to Jeff. He earns a spot on CRN's 2019 Channel Chief list. So kudos to Jeff on that acknowledgement and that recognition. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand this over to Jeff Ashley. Take it away, Jeff.
Thank you, Noel, and thank you everybody for being with us here on our first ERP seminar, I think, of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So welcome to all of you. We just got back from our Acumatica Summit 2019. It was a fantastic event, as Noel already alluded. It was the largest ever. We had not only we had a 50% increase year over year as far as the number of attendees at our summit, but in addition to that, everything was bigger and better. The stage was bigger, the number of ISVs and the booths and everything that was shared, everything was bigger by, again, about 50% over year. So fantastic growth, fantastic show, and what we want to do today is spend a couple minutes giving you an idea of what our summit is like, what you might be able to expect, and for those of you that are thinking about coming on board with Acumatica, probably it is the biggest event we have for the year by far, and probably one of the biggest indicators of who we are as a company, what we are as a culture, and what you'd be getting yourself into should you want to come on board and be part of all that we are creating here. So without any further ado, a little bit about me and my background. As Noel said, my name is Jeff Ashley, VP of Partner Strategy and Programs. And what that means at Acumatica is that I am responsible for everything related to the program itself. So the creation of the program, all of the requirements, as well as all the benefits and the features, the agreements that you sign if you come on board as a partner. I am responsible for recruitment, which is what Noel is working with all of you on. And then once you're recruited at Acumatica, we have a dedicated enablement team. And that dedicated enablement team works with all of our new partners in general for their first 120 days to 180 days. And what we find or feel is significant about that is that's a dedicated team. They're not incented and measured and compensated based on sales and revenues, because if they were, then they'd be spending all their time with the partners that are already producing. Our incentives in enablement are focused on how quickly can we get you as a partner of Acumatica to transact. So how fast or how quickly can we get you a return on your investment of time, money, and resources. So again, I have responsibility for recruitment, enablement, and then pre-sales. So all of the pre-sales resources and demo resources that our partners utilize at Acumatica, they're on my team as well. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 key takeaways from Summit. The first one is collaboration, and collaboration is, again, you're going to hear five cute words that describe, a takeaway, but this is much more than just words. The collaboration at our summit is unique because we have partners, prospective partners, customers, prospective customers, ISVs, analysts, influencers. Pretty much every ecosystem that makes up our industry is there and is being represented. And so there's a huge amount of collaboration that's being done across all of these various ecosystems. We share information, we share successes, you know, and it's open for everyone to share honestly what their experiences have been, how happy they are with Acumatica and with how they're being treated, how well our organization is meeting our commitments, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a completely open and honest opportunity for everybody to collaborate, for everybody to share. And again, this year it was larger than ever. We have tracks specific to our customers. We have tracks specific to our partners. And those tracks take place during the first 2 days of Summit. And then we have 3 days post-Summit for training. So we have training again for end users that want to get a better idea of how to utilize our software. And we have training, different kinds and different levels of training for our partners who obviously have to have a much more thorough understanding because they're the ones out there finding, selling, implementing, and supporting our customer base. So collaboration is a huge part of what Summit is. It's a huge takeaway for, again, anybody that may be coming from a publisher where that feeling is missing or lacking today. The second thing, and I think one of the things that makes Acumatica not only unique in our industry, but maybe fun in our industry, is the innovation that we put into our solutions. And as John Rosca, our CEA, says on a constant basis, it's not innovation for innovation's sake, it's pragmatic innovation. And what we mean by that is Acumatica really leads the world in innovation, but it's innovation with a purpose. It's innovation that actually gets used. So it's not something that's just neat and cool that somebody can look at and not know how they'd ever use. This is innovation that actually gets used every single day all over the world. And on display at Summit, we had pragmatic innovation, real world situations and scenarios where we demonstrated artificial intelligence. We were demonstrating machine language. We actually had a drone on the stage, and that drone is being used by one of our customers in one of those, you know, just absolutely enormous warehouses where the drone can go all through the warehouse and do inventory for them. Or think about customers that have acres and acres of inventory spread around a large site, and maybe it's even in areas where the weather is not so conducive to having human beings walking around for hours at a time trying to do inventory. So very pragmatic types of innovation being shown. And what this all leads to, and I think what is one of our key differentiators in the market, and something that all of you that don't really know Acumatica today want to take from this call, is that Acumatica is very, very different from our competitors in that we are a true end-to-end solution. And I don't mean end-to-end within a sector, I mean end-to-end across sectors. So for example, we have a lot of manufacturers who also want to distribute the products that they manufacture, and maybe want to do that on a portal. And maybe after they sell that product to somebody, they have a team that goes out and services it. So they need manufacturing, they need field services, they need distribution, and they need e-commerce. And all of that is included in one solution, on one database, in one environment, with one look and feel. This product was not created because of dozens of acquisitions. This is all one product and one solution out in the market, and that makes us really and truly unique, even up to and including construction. Our construction product, again, we have a lot of customers who build product and then sell that product and use subcontractors to do that, and then drive out and maintain what it is that they're building. So again, very, very unique approach to innovation in the marketplace. Next is acceleration. So it is really fun to be able to get up on the stage at Summit in front of a packed room and talk about our successes over the last year, and that's what we did at our summit. We talked about 2018 and how successful we were. We had near triple-digit growth year over year again, And that growth is not only in revenues, but also in the number of new customers that we added year over year. So again, near triple-digit growth year over year, and each year that becomes a much bigger number, and we still keep that very fast acceleration. And as I hope you all know, we are 100% indirect. So the acceleration that I'm talking about is coming from our partners. So our partners are growing very, very rapidly. I would call it exponential growth for many of our partners year over year. We had one partner in Chicago who actually sent me a note. They happened to meet me on my very first day as an Acumatica employee at the end of 2017. I've only been with Acumatica a little over a year now. And they met me on my very first day in Chicago, and they let me know at the end of Q3 of 2018, their company had grown over 500% year over year. So just give you an idea of what some of the partners are experiencing in our Acumatica channel. In addition, Acumatica had more than 93% of all of our new customer acquisitions globally were on the Acumatica cloud. So again, for those that don't know, Acumatica can offer our solutions in the Acumatica cloud, which is the Amazon Web Services. We also can do private clouds. We can also do on-prem. So we don't really care what the deployment methodology is. We have a solution that fits the needs of that customer regardless of what they need. But what I find very interesting is that 93% of the customers globally have determined that they want our solution in the cloud. So, excuse me. So it's nothing that we didn't anticipate, but it's nice to be able to sit up there and say it. Excuse me. It's nice to be able to validate for all of our partners that everything that they thought to be true is actually true. And again, it's just a great indication of where our marketplace is going and how ready Acumatica is. Excuse me. Okay, next thing, transformation. So transformation, again, in Acumatica it has a very specific meaning. And you know, everybody hears about these words, digital transformation, and that's not what we're talking about. Although we are very focused on digital transformation, it is one of the key talking points that you'll hear our CEO talk about in his keynote. But when I'm talking about transformation in the context of partners, what I mean is that at Acumatica, we were even having a very different conversation with our partners. In 2018, and we just started this in 2018, in 2018, we had nearly 140 partner owners join us for what we call our executive onboarding workshop. That workshop is a conversation about the elegant transformation from professional services as the model that virtually all of us are in today into an annuity-based recurring revenue model. And that has some very significant and very important challenges for all of our partners. And Acumatica is right there with our partners because, again, we're 100% indirect. So it is in our collective best interest to help each other figure this out. And I now have 140 partner owners that are now continuing this conversation. So over the course of 2018, we have a subset of partner owners that get together, in some cases, even almost weekly as a subset, at least every month as a group, and then we get together twice a year face-to-face as an entire, what we're calling the Practice Owner Forum. And this Practice Owner Forum, again, is owners sitting down and talking about what are the challenges you face in a deferred revenue model. Challenges around, for example, compensation for your people, challenges around packaging of your solution, selling services as a subscription as well as software as a subscription. All of these kind of things are very, very difficult for a company that has been historically 10, 20, 30 years in professional services, and now all of a sudden is trying to respond to a marketplace that really is demanding that we be selling our software and our services as a subscription. So that 93% I talked about in the last bullet, the acceleration bullet, that 93% is important because it also means that our customers are expecting a different kind of experience from us now. the cloud is much more than just a deployment methodology. It's an expectation of how we deliver not only our software, but also of our services. One of the great statistics that we had at Summit to share with our partners this year, based on a partner survey that we did going into the Summit, more than 70%, so greater than 70% of all Acumatica partners sold at least one fully packaged solution in 2018. And when we mean fully packaged, we mean the software and their services all sold as a subscription in a package for their customer. We expect that to continue to accelerate in a very quickly in 2019 and beyond. It's really where our industry is moving and really where all of our partners are going. So collaboration, innovation, acceleration, and transformation, those were 4 out of the 5 key takeaways from Summit this year. And all of those things, when taken together, kind of lead us into our 5th and final bullet, and that is community. Again, John Roskill, our CEO, who is just an amazing role model for our organization. He sets a very powerful vision, and he drives that vision throughout our organization and out into our channel ecosystem. And it does truly drive the culture that makes up this company. And so when we talk about community, again, not just a cute word that we're saying out there on the stage. This is truly something that we focus on. This is something that we drive internally as well as externally. And I think any of the partners that were at Summit, and any partners that you might want to reach out to and speak to about their Acumatica experience, will tell you that it truly is a community. It feels different at Acumatica. It feels like everybody is included. It feels like we live our vision and our mission on a daily basis. And that vision and that mission has partners as its primary focus. So again, community. But that community also extends out through our partners to our customers, which is why Summit is so unique, because it is an event where we call our partners and our customers together without hesitation and with no fear, because we know that we can collaborate together to become stronger. And so community is a big thing. Acumatica every year has one Customer of the Year that receives an award and one Not-for-Profit Customer of the Year. And we highlight the Not-for-Profit Customer of the Year as an organization that is out in the community doing good work. And so again, it's something that's very important to us. And so every year we highlight at least one customer that we want the world to know more about because of the great things that they're doing. So again, not just about selling software, but about transforming the community that we all work within. Okay, so to summarize what we talked about today, again, a reminder, Acumatica is 100% indirect. So all of these things that I talked about, all of these things that we're accomplishing, all these things that we're delivering, all of this growth that we're experiencing, this is all coming through our partner community. We have nothing more important. And as I tell our partners all the time, when you go onto our portal and you see all of that tremendous content, and for those that have not seen our portal, it is just huge. And there's all kinds of really good information, and every bit of that belongs to our partner community. We share everything we have with our partners, regardless of what it is. If a partner sees something that they think can help them to become more successful in their businesses, all they have to do is ask. In some cases, we may have to, modify because of copyrights and things like that. But other than that, when we create something that might help somebody close business or might help somebody get the word out a little better, it becomes theirs. It's all about content. We have the best margins in the industry. And again, the thing to focus on if you're representing somebody else's solution today, not just on the sale of new customers, but on the renewal of your already existing customers. So a lot of publishers might give you a decent margin on the sale of a new customer, but a lot of them give fairly small margins on the renewals. Ours is a true 50-50 partnership, and that's what you get, 50%. Up to 50% margins on new customer acquisition and 50% margins on the renewals. So that's huge. And as I already mentioned, dedicated partner enablement. And then once you're through enablement and once you've got an understanding of who we are and how we're positioned and how to enter cases and how to use our CRM and how to work with the various areas within Acumatica and how to get access to all that content I talked about, once you know all of that and once you get through a sales cycle, you are given to or handed off to our channel management team. We call them partner account managers. And those partner account managers, again, are dedicated by territory. And so you have a dedicated person to work with throughout your life cycle here at Acumatica. And the whole key to this is the effective, efficient, and profitable allocation of resources. So that's why we do this the way we do it. So we have enablement people that work in enablement and channel management people that work when you're enabled and out there in the marketplace, and because you need a different level and a different kind of support and advocacy. And then finally, as we mentioned, and what this whole conversation truly is about, and what Summit is truly about, is this whole culture of respect, collaboration, innovation, acceleration, and as I said, above all, this community that we're creating together out in the world. So with that, I will turn it back to Adrian, and we can see if there's any questions or something I may be able to help somebody with.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I see here a question from Rick. Thank you so much, Rick, for your question. Jeff, what industries are you seeing the most success with Acumatica?
Well, Rick, I'll tell you, it's an interesting question, and it's a tough one to answer. And the reason it's tough is because it's somewhat self-fulfilling. And what I mean by that is when a company first starts, when a publisher first starts and they first release their software, they will tell you that the vast majority of their software is in general financials, and then maybe they add some distribution to that. So then they'll tell you the vast number of their customers are in distribution because that's what they have. And so because everybody's selling into that industry, the majority of their sales come from that industry. So they're somewhat skewed until you get a fairly significant critical mass going, which we now have. So I will tell you that as of 2018, the end of 2018, the largest segment that we sell into is distribution. And the second largest would be manufacturing. And then followed very closely behind that with field services, and then construction, which was a new solution for us in 2018, but it's just really going gangbusters. So construction is just growing unbelievably fast, actually kind of scary fast. And so we're really happy about that. And again, I think that points back to the innovation piece I talked about, where we have so many construction companies that have never had the opportunity to have their financials, their construction, their payroll, distribution, field services, everything under one thing. They've always had to have multiple solutions and look and feels. So distribution is the biggest, manufacturing probably second, field services probably third, and then construction following.
And then we also have a question from John. John, thank you for your question. What do you see makes a successful partner?
Oh, great question. I will tell you, so in our workshop, so I told you we have this practice owner workshop, and in the workshop, we talk about the three things that, and the most important things that every partner owner needs to focus on. And the three things are in order of, in order of importance. Number one is pipeline, because everything follows the pipeline. And I know that sounds kind of silly that we would say that, but honestly, if you look at most organizations in our industry, because we are technical in nature, most of our practice owners focus a lot more on the technical aspects of their business. They're engineers or they're CPAs or whatever. And so marketing really isn't one of the key competencies that a lot of our partners have. So the number one key to success, bar none, is a focus at the owner level on marketing. When you think about marketing, the numbers are so big. When you think about how many leads you have to get to, how many suspects, right, to get to a prospect, how many prospect to get to sales qualified, how many sales qualified to close. And those numbers are so big that if you miss just 1 month, in a lot of cases, it becomes almost impossible to catch back up. And so if the owner isn't focusing on it almost on a daily basis and not leaving the office until they get that answer to how are we going to make up that difference, that's where the biggest issue I think is, and that's where the biggest indicator of success lies. So number one is pipeline. Number two is what we call the experience. And again, in our industry, with the way everything has changed, the key to a successful VARs today is that focus on content and self-service. And again, I know it sounds silly, but if you get into our workshop, we go into a really deep detail as to what it means, but essentially people want to go into your website and they want to download content and they want to review that content and they want to get access to content 24/7 on the device that they're choosing. And if we look at most of the portals and the websites and the media that most of our partners use today, there's a lot of work still that needs to be done. And one of the things we talk about in our workshop is the content has to actually be by industry, and if you're fortunate enough, by micro vertical industry. And then within that, though, by roles. And again, because the reason is the decision maker in a company has very different needs than mid-level managers who have very different needs than line-level people. So if all you have is one message on your website, and most of us do, then we're missing out on 2/3 of the messages that need to be delivered. So number one is pipeline. Number two is the experience that you're giving those people that find your organization, mostly through content and self-serve. And then number three is IP, intellectual property, and managed services. Because we now live in an annuity-based world, the most successful partners understand that they have to not only package the software they sell, but the services they're selling as well. And if you think about it, because we're all historically professional services, we sell projects. And that project has a history or has a life expectancy. When the project's over, it's over. So the partners that are really succeeding in this new model and this new paradigm understand that the day of the project is dead. Projects are dead. We don't sell projects anymore. We package solutions. So once you get a prospect that needs something of your organization, you don't just sell that one project one time. You package that project so it can be sold 100 times or 1,000 times. So it's a little bit of a different culture, a little bit of a different strategy, and certainly a little different or a very different way of deploying our services going forward. So again, how do we deploy in one-to-many? How can we deploy in self-service? How can we deploy in a way that doesn't require a heavy dependence on human capital, because the model doesn't like human capital, right? That's just the nature of, again, deferred revenue and annuity businesses. You want to be able to sell as easily as possible with as few transactions as possible, and make it as easy as possible for your customers to consume all that content that you have. So that would be the answer, the three things.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We have another question here from David, but I'd just like to remind the audience that there is a poll up, and I see that 67% of you have voted. If we could just take a second to let us know if you'd like to be contacted, that would be great. And David, thank you so much for your question. Are your partners restricted to exclusive geographic areas?
We are the way we handle territories, well, actually, the way we handle where you can sell is first by region. So we have several regions around the world. So we are sitting in what we call North America, UK. And so that would be United States, Canada. And then we have Latin America, we have Europe, we have Asia, we have South Africa. So these are the regions that we have. The agreement you sign will define what region you can sell into. Should you want or need to sell into multiple regions because of your model, whatever that might be, then if you need to go outside your home region, it's just an addendum. So we do not restrict necessarily where partners can sell to, but the agreement comes with this basis, your home territory.
And if you do see that a partner has a certain core competency, let's say in manufacturing, do you help that partner help other partners with their expertise? Do you ever see that? Yeah.
Oh, we see it all the time. So if you were to ask partners, what are the single largest hindrances to your growth, they would tell you the first is leads, and the second is access to people. And every partner, I mean, when you're in hyper growth, and we are absolutely, and our partner community is in hyper growth, it's the one thing we hear almost every single day. How do you find good talent? Where do you find good talent? And so our partners, and I'm very proud, I'm very, very proud of the ecosystem and the culture that we've created, because our partners do collaborate. They do work together. They will share resources. We also have and we announced at Summit a new referral program. The referral program will go live April, and the referral program is going to actually incent and reward partners. So for example, if you focus on distribution and you find a manufacturing lead, rather than distract the organization from distribution where your core competency is, if you give that lead to a partner who has agreed to be in our referral program, then you're going to be given back a referral fee, and that referral fee comes back to you in the form of an annuity, and that annuity continues to pay, will be paid out to you for as long as that customer renews. So everything about what we're trying to do is to build on this idea of annuities and annuity streams. We sell subscriptions, so even our referral programs have as their basis subscription or annuity. And so I think it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of unique in the market. The partners all seem to like it. They responded very positively at Summit to the idea. We're formalizing it and packaging it now. So collaboration is a big thing, and so the answer to your question is absolutely. We do have partners that will work with other partners to either help when they're resource constrained, or in the area of referrals, you can even refer that lead to them and get rewarded for it forever.
And let's say Acumatica gets a manufacturing lead. Will you refer that manufacturing lead to a more competent manufacturing VAR, even though they might not be the closest VAR?
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes, we have, we again announced for 2019 is every single partner of Acumatica must be certified, every partner. And you get certified to the core. So the core financials and core distribution, that's core. So every partner gets certified into that. But then we have, and announced and being rolled out in 2019 is authorizations. So we have 5 additions: distribution, manufacturing, commerce, field services, and construction. And partners get authorized into those additions. So the idea is that leads will be given to partners that are authorized in one of those additions. In addition to that, we require from our partners business and marketing plans, and the business and marketing plans will highlight subspecialties. So you may be in manufacturing, but maybe you're in a certain kind of manufacturing. So if we get a lead that fits into a specific kind of manufacturing segment, then that partner would receive, the partner that has the most domain experience and the highest likelihood of closing is the one that the lead needs to be funneled to. So that is one of our primary criteria.
And do you also consider the investment into marketing that each partner presents to you?
I'm not sure I understand. Oh, for distributing.
When you distribute your opportunities, you also look at the ratio of investment in their marketing plans?
The answer, well, because we have business and marketing plans, and they are required of our partners, so you have to give us the business and marketing plan. So as long as your channel manager, and by the way, your channel managers will have a regular cadence with all of the partners within their territory, and as long as you are investing in that, Acumatica then has what we call business development funds, and they're joint funds. So we determine where we're going to spend our time, our money, and resources, and we determine that based on the expenditures of time, money, and resources on our behalf. So the answer to the question is yes, and that is up to and including Acumatica support at shows and events, again, the joint marketing that we do, and pretty much access to resources that will be, working on your behalf. So for example, if you're at a show or event, we will send Acumatica resources to be with you and stand with you at that show and the event. That's all based on focus and commitment and expenditure. So we do joint marketing and we share in that marketing. So the partners that expend time, money, and resources will receive time, money, and resources in return. That's just the basic principle of how we work in our marketing area.
Thank you, everyone, for
joining
us. Everybody, have a fantastic day.